You guys, we just finished the mid-month hangout. I am not going to record those. I want you guys to feel comfortable talking and asking for advice and sharing. So I will not be recording any mid-month hangouts. But as we head into start with why, find your why activity, I'm recording this because it's going to be really great for everybody on the team. And so to start this off, I was saying earlier before I started recording, I don't know about you guys, but when someone sends me a video to watch, I'm not the best at doing it. So I am going to play a video that will be really important for us about our why. If you guys haven't read the book called Start With Why by Simon Sinek, the YouTube video that I'm going to show you, which is about 15 minutes long, is going to give you a lot of insights about what Start With Why means. And this guy is an author, and he's the one that's going to be talking to you about this theory of starting with why and why your why is so important. And then we're going to do a quick worksheet together. I emailed it to you. You can print it, but I will also have it up on here, and then you can jot down some notes on your notebook. And we're going to do this little worksheet together. It'll be about 30 minutes. And how. The reason why I wanted to do this activity together as a team is because maybe for some of you it is easy. For me, it's not, to take time and be like, I'm going to do this. Find your why activity. And when you do it as a group, and when you do it as coming together and you're doing it together, I feel like it helps to just hold yourself a little bit more accountable and actually get it done. Okay, so I'm going to start by playing this video, and when the video is done, then we'll do this worksheet together. I really hope you enjoy it. I love this video. Okay, hold on.
When things don't go as we assumed? Or better, how do you explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy all of the assumptions?
Okay.
We assume even we know why we do what we do. But then how do you explain when things don't go as we assume? Or better, how do you explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy all of the assumptions? For example, why is Apple so innovative? Year after year after year after year, they're more innovative than all their competition. And yet they're just a computer company. They're just like everyone else. They have the same access to the same talent, the same agencies, the same consultants, the same media. Then why is it that they seem to have something different? Why is it that Martin Luther King led the civil rights movement? He wasn't the only man who suffered in a pre-civil rights America, and he certainly wasn't the only great orator of the day. Why him? And why is it that the Wright brothers were able to figure out controlled powered manned flight when there were certainly other teams who were better qualified, better funded, and they didn't achieve powered manned flight? The Wright brothers beat them to it. There's something else at play here. About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery, and this discovery profoundly changed my view on how I thought the world worked, and it even profoundly changed the way in which I operated it. As it turns out, there's a pattern. As it turns out, all the great and inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way, and it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do, 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organization, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done, that's how most sales is done, and that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do, we say how we're different or how we're better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You're ready to buy a computer from me. All I did was reverse the order of the information. People don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. But we're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat screen TVs. They've been making flat screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one. Dell came out with MP3 players and PDAs. And they make great quality products, and they can make perfectly well-designed products, and nobody bought one. In fact, talking about it now, we can't even imagine buying an MP3 player from Dell. Why would you buy an MP3 player from a computer company? But we do it every day. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The goal is not to do business with everybody who needs what you have. The goal is to do business with people who believe what you believe. Here's the best part. None of what I'm telling you is my opinion. It's all grounded in the tenets of biology, not psychology, biology. If you look at a cross-section of the human brain, looking from the top down, what you see is the human brain is actually broken into three major components that correlate perfectly with the golden circle. Our newest brain, our Homo sapien brain, our neocortex, corresponds with the what level. The neocortex is responsible for all of our rational and analytical thought and language. The middle two sections make up our limbic brains, and our limbic brains are responsible for all of our feeling, like trust and loyalty. It's also responsible for all human behavior, all decision-making, and it has no capacity for language. In other words, when we communicate from the outside in, yes, people can understand vast amounts of complicated information like features and benefits and facts and figures. It just doesn't drive behavior. When we communicate from the inside out, we're talking directly to the part of the brain that controls behavior, and then we allow people to rationalize it with the tangible things we say and do. This is where gut decisions come from. Sometimes you can give somebody all the facts and figures, and they say, I know what all the facts and details say, but it just doesn't feel right. Why would we use that verb? It doesn't feel right. Because the part of the brain that controls decision-making doesn't control language. And the best we can muster up is, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Or sometimes you say you're leading with your heart, or you're leading with your soul. Well, I hate to break it to you, those aren't other body parts controlling your behavior. It's all happening here in your limbic brain, the part of the brain that controls decision-making and not language. But if you don't know why you do what you do, and people respond to why you do what you do, then how will you ever get people to vote for you or buy something from you, or more importantly, be loyal? and want to be a part of what it is that you do. Again, the goal is not just to sell people who need what you have. The goal is to sell to people who believe what you believe. The goal is not just to hire people who need a job. It's to hire people who believe what you believe. I always say that, there's if you hire people just because they can do a job, they'll work for your money. But if you hire people who believe what you believe, they work for you with blood and sweat and tears. And nowhere else is there a better example of this than with the Wright brothers. Most people don't know about Samuel Pierpont Langley. And back in the early 20th century, the pursuit of powered man flight was like the .com of the day. Everybody was trying it. And Samuel Pierpont Langley had what we assume to be the recipe for success. I mean, even now, you ask people, why did your product or why did your company fail? And people always give you the same permutation of the same three things. Undercapitalized, the wrong people, bad market conditions was the same three things. So let's explore that. Samuel Pierpont Langley was given $50,000 by the War Department to figure out this flying machine. Money was no problem. He held a seat at Harvard and worked at the Smithsonian and was extremely well connected. He knew all the big minds of the day. He hired the best minds money could find, and the market conditions were fantastic. The New York Times followed him around everywhere, and everyone was rooting for Langley. And how come we've never heard of Samuel Pierpont Langley? A few hundred miles away in Dayton, Ohio, Orville and Wilbur Wright. They had none of what we consider to be the recipe for success. They had no money. They paid for their dream with the proceeds from their bicycle shop. Not a single person on the Wright brothers team had a college education, not even Orville or Wilbur. And the New York Times followed them around nowhere. The difference was Orville and Wilbur were driven by a cause, by a purpose, by a belief. They believed that if they could figure out this flying machine, it'll change the course of the world. Samuel Pierpont Langley was different. He wanted to be rich and he wanted to be famous. He was in pursuit of the result. He was in pursuit of the riches. And lo and behold, look what happened. The people who believed in the Wright brothers' dream worked with them with blood and sweat and tears. The others just worked for the paycheck. And they tell stories of how every time the Wright brothers went out, they would have to take 5 sets of parts because that's how many times they would crash before they came in for supper. And eventually, on December 17th, 1903, the Wright brothers took flight. And no one was there to even experience it. We found out about it a few days later. And further proof that Langley was motivated by the wrong thing, the day the Wright brothers took flight, he quit. He could have said, that's an amazing discovery, guys. Now we'll improve upon your technology. But he didn't. He wasn't first. He didn't get rich. He didn't get famous. So he quit. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And if you talk about what you believe, you will attract those who believe what you believe. Well, why is it important to attract those who believe what you believe? Something called the law of diffusion of innovation. And if you don't know the law, you definitely know the terminology. The first 2.5% of our population are our innovators. The next 13.5% of our population are our early adopters. The next 34% are your early majority, your late majority, and your laggards. The only reason these people buy touch-tone phones is because you can't buy rotary phones anymore. We all sit at various places at various times on the scale, but what the law of diffusion of innovation tells us is that if you want mass market success or mass market acceptance of an idea, you cannot have it until you achieve this tipping point between 15 and 18% market penetration. And then the system tips. I love asking businesses, what's your conversion on new business? I love to say, oh, it's about 10%. Proudly, you can trip over 10% of the customers. We all have about 10%. That's how we describe it. It's like that gut feeling, oh, they just get it. So it's this here, this little gap that you have to close, crossing the chasm. Because you see, the early majority will not try something until someone else has tried it first. And these guys, the innovators and the early adopters, they're comfortable making those gut decisions. They're more comfortable making those intuitive decisions that are driven by what they believe about the world and not just what product is available. These are the people who stood online for 6 hours to buy an iPhone when they first came out, when you could have just walked into the store the next week and bought one off the shelf. These are the people who spent $40,000 on flat screen TVs when they first came out, even though the technology was substandard. And by the way, they didn't do it because the technology was so great. They did it for themselves because they wanted to be first. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And what you do simply proves what you believe. In fact, people will do the things that prove what they believe. The reason that person bought the iPhone in the first 6 hours, or stood in line for 6 hours, was because of what they believed about the world and how they wanted everybody to see them. They were first. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So let me give you a famous example, a famous failure and a famous success of the law of diffusion of innovation. First, the famous failure. It's a commercial example. As we said before a second ago, the recipe for success is money and the right people and the right marketing conditions, right? You should have success then. Look at TiVo. From the time TiVo came out about 8 or 9 years ago to this current day, they are the single highest quality product on the market. Hands down, there is no dispute. They were extremely well funded. Market conditions were fantastic. I mean, we use TiVo as a verb. I TiVo stuff on my piece of junk Time Warner DVR all the time. But TiVo is a commercial failure. They've never made money. And when they went IPO, their stock was at about $30 or $40, then plummeted, and it's never traded above 10. In fact, I don't think it's even traded above 6, except for a couple of little spikes. Because you see, when TiVo launched their product, they told us all what they had. They said, we have a product that pauses live TV, skips commercials, rewinds live TV, and memorizes your viewing habits without you even asking. And the cynical majority said, we don't believe you, we don't need it, we don't like it, you're scaring us. What if they had said, if you're the kind of person who likes to have total control over every aspect of your life, boy, do we have a product for you. It pauses live TV, skips commercials, memorizes your viewing habits, etc., etc. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, and what you do simply serves as the proof of what you believe. Now let me give you a successful example of the law of diffusion of innovation. In the summer of 1963, 250,000 people showed up on the Mall in Washington to hear Dr. King speak. They sent out no invitations, and there was no website to check the date. How do you do that? Well, Dr. King wasn't the only man in America who was a great orator. He wasn't the only man in America who suffered in a pre-civil rights America. In fact, some of his ideas were bad, but he had a gift. He didn't go around telling people what needed to change in America. He went around and told people what he believed. I believe, I believe, I believe, he told people. And people who believed what he believed took his cause and they made it their own, and they told people. And some of those people created structures to get the word out to even more people. And lo and behold, 250,000 people showed up on the right day, on the right time to hear him speak. How many of them showed up for him? 0. They showed up for themselves. It's what they believed about America that got them to travel on a bus for 8 hours to stand in the sun in Washington in the middle of August. It's what they believed, and it wasn't about black versus white. 25% of the audience was white. Dr. King believed that there are 2 types of laws in this world, those that are made by a higher authority and those that are made by man. And not until all the laws that are made by man are consistent with the laws that are made by the higher authority will we live in a just world. It just so happens that the civil rights movement was the perfect thing to help him bring his cause to life. We followed him not for him, but for ourselves. And by the way, he gave the I have a dream speech, not the I have a plan speech. Listen to politicians now with their comprehensive 12-point plans. They're not inspiring anybody. Because there are leaders and there are those who lead. Leaders hold a position of power or authority, but those who lead inspire us. Whether they're individuals or organizations, we follow those who lead, not because we have to, but because we want to. We follow those who lead, not for them, for ourselves. And it's those who start with why that have the ability to inspire those around them or find others who inspire them. Thank you very much.
Oh gosh. Okay. Anybody want to share what you got out of that? Or any like key points that you really like?
There's no such thing as a good or bad memory.
Anybody want to share any takeaways that they got from that? Hope you guys liked it. I haven't watched it in like months, and so I really enjoyed it. Something that I got, he drew that circle, right? And he said your limbic area of your brain is what's going to help you, it's what's going to decide whether you buy a product because of how you feel. And so I was thinking oils, should we always diffuse really good feeling oils during our classes or what? Like that is the reason why. And even just if you're thinking on like getting oils into businesses and talking your I was gonna say lash therapist, but they don't really need people to be happy when they're getting their lashes. But maybe retail shops, getting people to be happy, their limbic area of their brain happy, and feeling and wanting to buy because they're happy, buy because they know. Now I'm like thinking about retail. Why do you shop at the shops that you shop at? Is it because you know the owner? Is it because, like for me, Lucky Honey, I shop there because those are two moms who made this awesome business and they stand for such great things and they support other local mom businesses as well. And so I love to shop there. I didn't say I shop there because they have the best products, which they do. They have really cute stuff and they always have mini acacia. And not a lot of shops have that. But again, the reason why is that I shop there has nothing to do with the product, right? What about why you guys buy doTERRA? Why do you buy doTERRA? Anybody want to share? Why do you guys buy doTERRA? Are you guys there? You just log on and like make like you're listening. It's so funny. But why do you buy doTERRA, right? It's not because doTERRA has the best products. doTERRA has the best natural products on the market. No, it's I buy doTERRA because doTERRA has the best essential oils from the family concerns. Because doTERRA has the best supplements that. And for me, I want to buy quality over quantity or just really good quality products because that makes a difference in my family's health. Okay, you guys are here. I'm so glad. Like, you guys just log on and pretend you're here. Okay, and then this one sentence that he kept saying. People don't buy what you do, but why you do it. People don't buy what you do, but why you do it. People aren't gonna. Hi. People don't buy what you do, but why you do it. People aren't gonna buy oils with you, but why you do the business. Does that make sense? When you work for a dream, people support your dream. You might quit if you don't have a why. I like the example that he used with the Wright brothers. The Wright brothers, the Wright brothers. They're building an airplane, which is like a brand new invention. Can you imagine how many times it didn't work? But because of their dream and their why, they had this big dream and this big reason, they kept trying. They kept doing it until they succeeded. Right? Okay. And the guy who didn't do it for a dream, he did it for money, success, this challenge. He quit as soon as the Wright brothers got their plane to fly and made their dream come true. Okay. And then people didn't follow Martin Luther King because of him. They followed them because for them. So people aren't going to buy oils. I mean, they are going to buy oils because of you, but they're going to buy oils because you made them feel a type of way. You made them believe. You made them dream. Okay. There are leaders and there are those who lead. Those who lead are inspiring. Okay. I'm going to share with you guys the Find Your Why or Start With Why or whatever this thing is called. I'm really bad at it. It's all about your why. Take a little bit of time. Your first question. Why do you want to build a doTERRA business? Yeah. If it if it's something pretty basic, not basic, but broad, I would break it down even more. Like for me, I wrote, I'm doing this business because I want to support my family, their goals and their dreams. Okay. And so I'm going to break it down even further of like, what are my family's goals and what are my family's dreams? Send our kids, I know you want this. Send our kids to a really good school. Why? I want to give them a really good education. Why? So they're successful in life. Why? So I don't have to see them struggle. Why? So that in my own old age, I am not stressing and I'm not worried about my children and how they're going to pay their bills. Okay, so do you see how I'm like, dig deeper, because when I sit down at my desk and I'm going to say, today I'm here because I need to work because I want to support my family's goals and dreams. It doesn't actually get down to like the actual deeper feelings. Because yes, it makes you feel when you're like, I wanna support my family's goals and dreams. I wanna see my family's dreams come true. But when you kind of like go deeper, I don't want to be worried about my children and how they're going to pay their bills when I'm in my 60s. So I don't want to see this. And you know when you're like asking people what their health concerns are, and you have them say, I want less of this in my life, and I want more of this. That can work and that triggers, really why oils are going to be good for them. So, are you guys good? Why do you want to build a doTERRA business? Maybe chatted. Why do you want to build a doTERRA business? Next one. Yeah, you guys can share. Sheena said, are we sharing these? You guys can share. I would love if you want to share. Type it into the chat or you can unmute yourself. I don't know what just happened. And the next question is, what are your dreams? Your dreams. I want ... Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. It's crazy. I really like that quote. Whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. If you have a dream and you really don't think that it can happen, you won't get there. Also, if you have a dream and you don't do the things to get there, you won't get there. So whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So write down, what are your dreams? What are your dreams, your personal dreams? Here's a dream. I want to travel. I want to travel with my family. The reason why is because I want to create memories with them. What are some dreams that you guys have? Why? Why are those dreams important? Not just what are your dreams, but why are they important to you? Here's the next one. Vision. Where do you see yourself 3 years from now? I really like this question. When you actually write, I mean, not just where you see yourself, but like where do you want to be in 3 years? I truly believe that that helps you to take every day as a step towards it. You know, it's like in 3 years, I want to buy a home and I want to have another child. Say that that's that's where you want to be in 3 years. You're going to do whatever it takes to get there, you know? And if you don't, then maybe you really don't want that. But you're going to use that to work every day or do what you need to do every day to get there. Whether it's, you know, I want to have another baby, so taking care of my body, keeping it really healthy, doing a cleanse, using some fertility oils. As far as buying a house, what steps are you taking to get there now, so that in 3 years you are living in your house and you are having another baby? You want to buy a house. Maybe you can start looking at budgeting. Maybe you can make a 1-year plan of how you want to figure out your finances. Maybe you start to really think about, I need to be, you know, once you start to look at your finances, your budgeting, your saving, and then you're looking at what income you need, then you're like, I need to be this rank in doTERRA. And then look a little bit deeper into what are the things I need to do on the daily to get to this rank. Where do you see yourself in 3 years, or where do you want to be in 3 years? Why do you want to be there? Are you willing to do what it takes to get there? And will you commit that to yourself? It's also like a dream. I dream that I will be here in 3 years. Are you willing to commit that to yourself of like, I am going to reach that dream. I'm going to make my dream come true. And I'm going to do what it takes step by step every day to get there. What kind of life do you envision? Do you envision you staying at home? Is your husband working? Are you married? Are you living in Hawaii? Are you living in which island? Oahu? Are you living in Manoa? Are you living in Kaneohe? Are you living on the Big Island? You've got a big property and you built your dream home. Even just simple. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm making enough income to provide for my family. My husband is working at his job, but he is happy and healthy. We have been taking our supplements every day. My kids are in private school. I'm able to pay for their schooling. Where do you want to be in 3 years? What does your life look like? Crazy. Hi. What does your life look like? Your dream life. What does it look like on the daily? Are you guys spending a lot of family time together, or are you working a lot? Hire a babysitter after school, or put your kid in an A+ program and pay for them to stay there till 5 o'clock because you're working, or do you want to be at home? Do you want to? What does your daily routine look like? It can get to like that nitty-gritty detail of like, what does my day look like? I'm trying to find a good example, but if you guys have listened to Whole Fit's podcast, or the one that she explained the exact schedule of her day, I really liked it because she said maybe this isn't for you, or maybe you're just not in this space yet, but I just want you to see what's possible, and I also want you to dream and like really think about what you want. And she was like explaining her daily routine of so much creation before she like gets into calls and stuff, and how much family time they have, and her kids are at school all day. So like, yeah, in 3 years, if your kid's gonna be old enough to be in school, and maybe you're at home getting to create and have you time and all that kind of thing. So I like that she really booked her day and helped you kind of see what could be possible. So where do you want to be in 3 years? Where do you see yourself in 3 years? In your mission statement, a mission statement helps turn a light bulb into a laser. That's crazy. That makes total sense. A mission statement helps turn a light bulb into a laser. It's kind of like focus. Like for me, I have focus strength. And my mentor, Noelle, likes to say, Ashley has focus strength. I get it. That's why she's there. And I've never really thought about it like that. But that does make sense. Like I know what I want, and I focus so hard on that everything on the side that doesn't help me get there, I don't spend time on. It's like, what is your priority? And you're doing everything to get you there. Okay. Just a couple more things, and then you guys can work on this on your own. Yeah, what is your mission statement? Sorry. Mission statement helps turn a light bulb into a laser. If you need help developing your mission statement, sorry, my father is giving me a computer. But if you need help developing your mission statement, or like what is a mission statement, or what is the format of a mission statement, like when someone tells you write a haiku, you're like, what is a haiku? You Google haiku format, and it's telling you so many words, 3 sentences, whatever. So if you need help developing your mission statement, look up mission statement and look at the format and work on that, okay? Then the last thing, your goals. If you set your goals before the why, dreams, vision, and mission statement, your goals have no soul. Whoa, that's really deep. If you set your goals before your why, so like say, I'm gonna be diamond rank one day, but I have no why. my goal has no soul. That's basically what this is telling me, which is really scary. So start with your why. Let's get to your goals. Okay. So you're going to write in your 30-day goal, your 90-day goal, your 1-year goal. And I'm going to counteract that and say, are you willing to do what it takes? Do your goals and your dreams mean that much to you to do what it takes to get there? And it's not just about doing the things. It's about evaluation. It's about personal development. It's about learning and growing. And so you can't just have your why and set your goals and do the things. You have to have your why, set your goals, do the things, learn and grow. Remember to lead, not be a leader. Inspire. And I think you guys are all good. And I gotta go because my baby is, fussy, and I'm just thankful that she allowed me to do this with you guys and be here with you. And I'm gonna stop sharing. And I hope you guys have a good weekend. Going back to BOGOs, get in that PV, do some classes, get as close to your goal as possible before Sunday. And if BOGO happens, let that help you reach your goal. And then let's celebrate. Alrighty. Thank you guys. Have a good weekend. I'll talk to you on Sunday if BOGO does happen. And again, thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for doing this live. Okay. Bye. Have a good day.